Welcome to the Woodpreneur podcast, the best podcast for the business and marketing side of the sawmill, lumber, and wood industry. What's a woodpreneur? If you have a business where you make money as a woodworker, sawmill owner, selling slabs, or a content creator, then you're a woodpreneur. My name's Steve Larziliere, and I started Woodpreneur Life, Acres of Timber, and the Woodpreneur podcast just for makers, wood entrepreneurs, and small business owners just like you. We're on a mission to empower thousands of wood businesses to grow sustainably and put out great products. Each week, I interview makers, sawyers, content creators, and 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs that know the wood industry inside and out. With topics covering everything from the urban lumber movement, sustainable sourcing and design, we'll discuss the ins and outs of how to grow, monetize, and fully immerse yourself in the woodpreneur lifestyle. If you're a hobbyist, a full-time wood business owner, part-time entrepreneur who wants to become a content creator, or quit your day job to pursue your dreams, the Woodpreneur podcast is just for you. Thanks so much for listening. Now enjoy this episode. Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. This is your host, Steve Larziliere. Today's guest is Tom Addison from Tom Addison Fine Furniture. How you doing, Tom?
Good to meet you. Yeah, I'm well, thanks, Steve. Yeah.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, just on my holidays.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for making the time on your holiday to talk with us.
Yeah, no problem. It's a pleasure.
Can you give us your background story? How'd you get started in this field as a furniture maker?
So I've been making furniture now for 15 years, and it all sort of started from leaving school, finishing school, and I went and started at college, Kendal College, which is in the north of England. A college there, and there was a fine furniture making course, and I was like halfway through my second year, and I actually realised that there was a local furniture makers who were wanting to take on an apprentice. So halfway through my course, I just sort of downed the tools pretty much and went to the library, did my CV, got my CV together. Took my projects that I'd made from college and went and called in to the workshop there, and handed over the stuff, and managed to get the apprenticeship, which was like a four-year apprenticeship, and so I served my time there, which was like a really traditional way. They were a really great place to sort of learn your trade. Really, I was working in a workshop of about 6 or 7 lads, all like really experienced and making very fine, high-end furniture, all sort of from solid oak, walnut, ash, you name it, they were making it, and all very much to do with the hand skills, dovetailing, hand planes and all that. You were really sort of taught in depth with all that, and it was a really good footing for me there to sort of to learn the trade and get to learn from the best, really. I thought, and I was stayed there for about 6 or 7 years. Then I moved on. When I met my wife, she's from the Yorkshire Dales, where I trained and where I was living currently was in the Lake District, of the UK, and I actually moved to the Yorkshire Dales. We bought a house over in Yorkshire, and then it was a case of working as a bit of a joiner, to be honest. I moved more into joinery because I was struggling to find a job as a furniture maker. There were lots of it's very rural where I live. The like sprawling countryside, and there was there was 1 or 2 sort of workshops, but they weren't big enough really. Sort of wanted to take another member of staff on, so it was just a case of biding my time. And I actually had a purpose-built workshop at the back of my property that I just over the years developed, and a lot of working nights on my workshop, building that up, and on weekends, and keeping my hand in furniture because I think that it was a skill that I felt I had to keep alive and keep practicing to keep sharp with it all and that. And in 2021, I set up I launched Tom Addison Fine Furniture off the back of just a word of mouth commission. Really, they sort of knew that I was a furniture maker, put the trust in me to make a desk. It was actually a lady who lived in the Yorkshire Dales and who used to live in the Yorkshire Dales, sorry, and was living in London at the time, and wanted a desk to be made in the Yorkshire Dales where she was from, and yeah, put a lot of trust in me really to make her this thing, and it was a month's work, and I thought that off the back of that month's work, I'd set up on my own and yeah, take that leap of faith, and like yeah, it's like 3 years down the line now, and I've yeah been going. So yeah, and here I am, still yeah, still going, still doing that, and it's what I do. You know, I feel I've been really fortunate actually with the commissions that I have had. You know, they've been um, a real mixed bag of real truly bespoke pieces. You know, from like a bit yeah that bespoke desk, then that led to a home office, making a home office all out of ash. Um, and then I did like a 3 meter long dining table for a couple in London. They actually, which was a really special commission actually, because they actually had the walnut tree in the garden, and they were extended. They were extending the back of the house, and they had to have it cut down. But to sort of save the wood and preserve it, you know, they had it sort of yeah slabbed up, seasoned, and sent up to me to make a table to table and benches from. So that was a really sort of special commission, and sort of the commissions have just sort of rolled on, on to the next, and I feel I've been really fortunate in that sense. But it's been a lot of hard work, like a really long, hard journey to sort of be where I'm at now, and and it's still hard, still very hard. Um,
Yeah.
but it's that love, that love of like furniture making and the craft and the craftsmanship that goes in it. That's what sort of drives you on, and them, creating them unique pieces at the end of the day is what I love doing, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else, to be honest.
That's cool. Yeah, I was just on your website and saw some of your commissions that I mean they're
Yeah,
very, very unique custom pieces. Like I saw the throne and then I saw that door and I
yeah.
like there's just like a lot of unique what do you like to build the most?
I really, to be honest, I really enjoy like the tables. That desk was a real special piece for me because it was the first, piece that I made as that I was commissioned to make. So that I really enjoyed making that. I love sort of the hand cut dovetails and doing, if I can try and get some drawers, have that aspect of sort of the piston fit drawers in it. And I do need to actually update my website because there's a few jobs there that I haven't actually uploaded, but they are on my like Instagram. Sort of, I like to sort of document as I go along as I'm making a piece. I like to just document that on my social media of just the time and the work that goes into making each piece, and you can sort of see it as a journey. And I use it as almost as well as a tool for communicating with my customers because sorry, I got a bit of a dry throat. Some of my customers, they follow me online, and they like
Yeah.
to, they like seeing the story of their piece being made and seeing it go through the workshop, and uh, you know, it is just myself making the things, so it is, really quite personal. A really good, I have to rely on a good working relationship with the customers. Sorry, apologies for that. My throat's.
No worries. No worries.
Um, yeah, so that's what I really love. I love the handcrafted style of things, and going down that line. But saying that, I have just recently there's been some commissions that have been, sort of veneered MDF. I've just recently finished a library which was all painted veneered MDF, oak veneered MDF, which looked really cool, at the end.
Yeah.
But that was like a step in another direction for me because it's something that I'd never done. Um, Working with them, with them board, with the boards and the sheet material. Usually, it's all sort of solid, the solid wood, and I do always try and a guy, I work closely with my customers, and I'll say, that's what I specialize in doing. But as well, it depends on the budget and things like that, on, whether they want to go down the sheet material line as well. But that's something that I can offer. Um,
Yeah.
so
And people, they, how are you finding, how are you, are most of the work word of mouth for you these days?
it started off word of mouth, yeah. That's how I'd say it started for me. But I really put lot of effort into building my social media presence online and marketing myself through my website, um, and really just getting myself out there. I'd get business cards printed and just on a night think, right, well, I'm going to go round that, go with my dog on a nice night and, walk my dog and post all my business cards around that village and see what comes of it. And just by doing that, saying that, the commission that I'm actually working on at the moment, which is my biggest commission to date, literally came from a business card through the post, just through a door. Um, that's how that came about. So, because I was just finding paying thousands of pounds, on a monthly basis for adverts in magazines and things like that was just too much. So I was jumping on opportunities where I could send press releases out to local papers, doing things like that. I feel like it's a noisy world out there, and you've got to shout, and you've really got to make a bit of a noise about yourself, or otherwise you can get overlooked. And
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, people are busy, right? Like nobody's really paying. Nobody's really looking for what you have to offer. You have to put what you offer in front of them,
yeah,
and then they're like, "Oh, this is an idea that I've always had." You
mm.
know?
And I find, showing on social media, like your videos and things like that. I use Reels like uh, early on, right from the first week. I
Is
started
that how
using,
you grew? Is that how you grew so
yeah,
much?
using short videos, um, and I can remember the video that sort of where it just went mad. I did a video and I was just literally hand planing a pedestal, an ash pedestal, and uploaded it onto Instagram, and it just went crazy. Just like from having a few thousand views or whatever, to then it was like four. I think it got up to like 4 and a bit million,
Wow.
which like really boosted my followers. Got a lot of followers from that, and then that got traction then with my other videos, and then sort of just building on it from then really. But it's
Yeah.
really, I do find it quite hard. It's almost like another job in itself, having to do all the
The editing and
videos, the editing. But I mean, it's so primitive. my it made me laugh the other day. I just uploaded a video and one guy commented like, "Oh, that's really cool. What sort of what equipment do you have?" I'm like, literally just my phone. I just rested it up on it. I just like tipped my block plane over, rested it, sandwiched it between a block plane and a block of wood, and then just held it on my bench, and that was it. Like that's
yeah,
all. Yeah, like I've not got much experience, to be fair, with technology and stuff like that. It's just, it's
just
just
really primitive. Yeah. And
yeah.
have you, does having a large social following and cool videos, does that help with the sales process?
Yeah, I think it has with the smaller items that I do. I do some bottle openers, and I've just started to do some like corkscrews in cases. They're almost like, look like a mini like tumbler.
Yeah.
And these smaller items, if I put them out on social media, just on my stories or something like, "Oh, I made a batch of these," or "I'm making a batch of these," and it does sort of pick up. I'll get some sales through that. People be like, "Oh, yeah, they're cool. How could I grab one of them?" And and just sort of sell. I'll only make small batches of them, but from that small batch, I've sold everything that I've made really,
Wow.
and that's through social media, whether it be Facebook or Instagram. um, yeah, it's been really useful tool for me.
That's cool. That's very cool. What are you working on these days? I know you said you're working on a big commission, right? Like how do you look at planning the next, your next year? What does that look like?
Um, so I mean, right now I'd say I'm into next year with work. I've I made it sort of a real goal for myself. I'm sorry, can I just grab a quick drink? I'm be
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go
one
ahead. Yeah.
second.
We'll
One,
edit we'll edit
throat's
that
doing,
out. Yeah, yeah. Go
one
ahead, go ahead.
second, my throat's just doing my head in. Sorry about
No worries.
that. Yeah, so I've planned. I made it my goal the start of this year really to just fill this year and to really be proactive with chasing work and getting jobs in the pipeline for myself so that I knew I was busy, because for me that's a real drive. Um, when I mean, last year I found it really hard that the inquiries weren't as forthcoming as what I liked, and I found that a real worry and a stress, because you've got your mortgage to pay and I've got a young family.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated that uncertainty. I mean, I had enough work to keep myself going, but I didn't like that thinking, oh gosh, a couple of jobs time, whatever. What am I going to be doing? So I just thought the start of this year, I made it a
You just
mission to,
hustled. You just
yeah,
hustled.
just hustling, like really hustling, networking, um, getting myself out there as much as I could, taking opportunities where they were presented, being proactive with getting out and posting my business cards out, and it's paid off. And I've got jobs lined up into next year now, and as I say, the biggest job that I'm on at the moment. Um, that is for a hotel, and it's 7 wardrobes, 2 dressers, some tea coffee stations. Um, what else? And a cupboard as well with sort of
Is
four.
is that the one that you found from the business cards?
Yeah,
Whoa.
all out of Walnut Veneered MDF. Yeah, 26 mils.
Wow. Wow.
All
Wow.
all on sort of soft closed runners, grass soft closed runners.
Who
And that's
who
been
who's the person that's making that decision to buy? Like, what's their
so.
title?
He's I'm not going to give his name out, but
No, no, no. I don't want it. I don't want his name. I just want to know, like, who's the type of person that is ordering
he's
that.
like a multimillionaire.
He's an investor.
Yeah, he's in it. Yeah, yeah. I think he has
Okay,
multiple
okay, okay, okay.
companies. And
Okay.
he's got this hotel, and
Got you, got you, got you.
he's
Yeah, yeah.
developing this
Oh, so you're
hotel.
dealing with the real estate developer and investor directly,
Yeah,
like, and they found
yeah. I
you.
put it through his
That's so.
house. Yeah, yeah. And he just rang me. Yeah,
You put it on his house.
yeah. Put it through his house. Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
incredible.
can remember thinking like, "Oh, that's a nice, nice property and a nice car out there."
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
thinking, I was quite and I do find that nerve wracking because you're putting yourself in them position.
Out there,
People
you're putting
sometimes,
yourself out there, right? It's
yeah,
like,
and you're
yeah,
there. But I enjoy that. I enjoy when people come out and speak to me, because then I can like put my passions across. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm just doing a bit old school advertising, I say.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's great to be able to chat with you. If you do have anything that you want to, that you are thinking about, sort of wanting any custom made furniture, bespoke furniture,
Yeah.
just get in touch. And I mean, that's been huge, and that's so much so that I've had to subcontract some of that out to some local makers and just build my network.
Because you're just so overwhelmed like that with
Yeah,
with with the response. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so
That's so cool.
I'll be doing a lot of all the installation of it all, and I've been making one of the cupboards, and doing a few extra things, but the majority of the work is being I've got 2 guys, local furniture makers, who are really top-notch guys on it as well. So we're sort of making a good team up, really, and it's quite exciting to be working with
That's so
local
cool.
makers. And I've been lucky with. I mean, I'm 34, but been making since I was left school, so I have got a good. Um, I feel I've got good connections to lots of skilled people in the trade. With the workshop that I first started in, that was
Mm,
a brilliant place to start because it was full of like really skilled, really down to earth, great people to work
mm.
with. There was like wood turners, upholsterers, restoration. There was a wet
Yeah.
restoration department.
So you have a good network of people that you could
Yeah, and
fill
then
any job. So like if you make a bench or whatever, you have upholsterers, right? Like you
yeah,
got
so
people
that's
that
it.
can
I can reach out to them, and it's just having a good pool of people to sort of ask to help you out, and sort of feed your work to them if you're overwhelmed, which I've been lucky enough to be able to do just recently, and I'm
Mhm.
hoping that can continue. But um, that's the only job really so far that I have done that. Um,
Yeah.
but I do quite like the how it's working so far, and if I can keep that going. But I do, there's a lot of work that I need to get through when I get back to the workshop, which is all sort of a lot of solid oak furniture and some real big, truly bespoke commissions. Like I'm in the sort of process of designing along with the client sort of a dresser for a living room with like a tambour door, and that's all going to be carved drawer fronts, and using some walnut in there internally as well. Um, so we're just going to be looking at sort of making a bit of a mock-up with the timbers and how they're going to work. Yeah, that's what we're going to be looking into, and them jobs I do like to try and keep from us, them one-off pieces, rather than this sort of. I mean, with these wardrobes, it's not. It's more sort of standardized stuff. If you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean, we can standardize them 7 wardrobes, and the drawers on the dressers can be standard and things like that. That's um, more that I'm not so fussed if that's getting if I'm getting a couple of lads in to help me out with that. But the rest of the stuff I just like to try and do all
All
myself,
in your
because I do
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like it's that well, for me it's that that's my furniture, and at the end of the day I carve my trademark into it. That's
I
like
know. I was just looking at that. I was just
yes.
looking. I was like,
So
yeah, that's really cool.
every piece that I make that gets the TA trademark, sort of hand engraved by myself, is sort of like just me. I think authentic. It's making it authentic, and
Mm-hmm.
it's my stamp of approval, really. That it's I'm happy with it going out the workshop, and happy to put my name to that. So yeah,
Cool.
it's very exciting at the moment, but at the same time, very stressful. I do find it, you know, very stressful as well. Getting that work-life balance, because I do think it's very much a lifestyle for me that I've chosen to go down that one-man band route at the moment. Working on these
Mm-hmm.
commissions in my small workshop. Um, it's I don't I, I'm not aiming to grow and make millions from making furniture. I just want to try and make the best pieces of furniture that I can with what I've
Yeah,
got,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and try, if someone comes to me like that, the guy with the wardrobes, for the try and do my best to deliver that. And um if that means that I have to get a couple of guys in to get it done quicker, then so be it. And but yeah, I'm not. I just want to make. I'd be really happy if I can just get a nice balance of having a nice, you know, where I'm not totally swamped and overwhelmed with work. Um, it's so that it's whirling around my head every second of every day. I want to be
Yeah.
able to, go out running. I love running in the hills, like around where I live. If I, getting out with my dog. it's just striking that balance for me and making beautiful furniture through the day.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, your work is really beautiful. Like one of the most beautiful that I've seen, and I've
oh,
interviewed a lot of
thanks,
people.
Steve.
This is really. I mean, your passion and your craft is like outstanding. Um, so, but this is the part of the podcast where I give you any marketing or business advice. Is there anything that I could help you with, or any advice that you need, marketing or business related?
It's yeah, I've been thinking about this and sort of networking with linking up with other industries of like say the interior. There's so many other industries within sort of in the umbrella of furniture and furnishings and things like that that can really help each other grow. If I was to link up with an interior designer and get in there with a top interior designer, and it's just that networking. And do you have any tips of how you'd maybe go about that and approach that with like linking up with them or um, making collaborations like that happen or anything like
Yeah,
that, Steve?
yeah. I mean, I listen. You just blew me away with the fact that you passed out business cards on cart, like in people's houses, like that. You just blew me away because, and then you got a really big commission out of it, and I'm sure you went to the right neighborhoods in order for you to do that, right? Like
Yeah,
you
well,
went to.
I was actually dropping some samples off.
Uh-huh.
In the sort of village where I was sort of just walking around. And well, actually, what the guy said to me when he rang me up, he said, "You mustn't have any work on if you've just posted a business card for it. You mustn't have much work on." I said, "Well, actually, no, I do have a fair bit of work on actually, but I'm just sort of trying to be proactive and building my work up. I like to feel like I've got plenty of work to go at, and because that for me is security for me, my family. Every month I have to be able to pay
Hmm.
my mortgage, and I need to have I feel I have to have months of work in advance to just have that. It takes one bit of stress away if I do have work in
Yeah.
the pipeline, because that I always think that I prefer the work, too much work stress to chasing work and things like that. That's the worst kind of stress, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I think it's that same idea that you just did with the business card, and do that with interior designers. And so,
get into the shop. Go to the shops and
well, not necessarily. What you can do is like start with DMs, like make sure that the only people that you follow are all interior designers,
right. Yeah,
right?
I
Like
do
I
follow
would,
quite a few, to be fair. But
huh?
I feel that I'm just like such a small fish in their
No, but
radar.
here's the thing. I met a guy who, he's got a pretty decent sized solo woodworking business like yourself, master craftsman. Yeah, he's another person that's just like, is just, he studied it. It's not like he went to, he apprentice. He's a craftsman. Like he dedicates his life to this.
Mm,
And um, one of the things that he did was he's got about a half a dozen interior designers, and he feeds them work. I mean, they feed him work. And
yeah.
so he doesn't really have any one-off clients. He only gets his work from interior design. I just met somebody else, and I think what you need to do is package up your portfolio, and you can make like on your website, make a part of your website for interior designers,
Mm,
right? And you could say, all right, this is I, and you're like, I am your secret weapon when it comes to furniture design. So whatever design that you or your clients want, I can help make, right? And then just make a list of like 30, 40 interior designers in and around London,
mm,
in your area, and just and send them your portfolio, tag them, send them when you just release a new project, send it to them just to like keep them. And like, if you did what you did with the business cards with those folks, but virtually, you would definitely get a lot more commissions.
Right.
Like so much more that you'd probably have to bring on somebody else. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I mean, to be fair,
And
it is getting a bit like this year has been brilliant. It's been, the best.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is my third year in business, and it has been the best year by far.
Amazing.
I am sort of
Yeah.
on the um, but I'm reluctant. I do have a guy that does come and help me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's a brilliant guy. He's done some fine furniture courses, and he just wants to come and work for me for free, just one day,
Yeah,
for one day, once every sort of couple of weeks, he'll come and do, and that helps, just relieve a bit of
for
the work
sure.
for me. But yeah, I mean, with that advice I have tried that actually, but yeah, I think I need to be a bit more consistent in it, because it did
Consistent.
try.
Well, you can also send them a like a one sheet, right? Of your best pieces, right? Send
Yeah,
them a dining, send them a bed, send them a like a credenza, send like just put your best things out there and tell people this is how you work
yeah.
and
I,
what your lead time
I,
is.
I think with how I work, I don't know whether it
Mm,
might put people off as well at the start, because I feel my customers that have gone with me in the past have really trusted me with these pieces, and I find take it a real big responsibility,
mhm.
to really deliver on these pieces, because I know I wouldn't call myself a brilliant drawer, or uh, and how I present my um, my ideas to potential customers. I'll just sketch them down and literally give them a pencil sketched drawing with
Yeah,
some dimensions on. I'll shade it in the best I can. And then really it's up to them as well to really sort of see the vision. And
yeah.
I've almost got to hold myself back from going like, trust me, I know that this is going to look
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Well,
nice.
I mean, that's the thing too. It's like, but the interior designer will, because you're an artist. You're not just a craftsman, like, or a woodworker or furniture. Like, you're an artist, and so people will they see your style, and if then they'll trust you. But you need to find the right interior designer that will trust you with that, right?
Yeah,
And so, um, yeah, I mean, I feel like that would be the best thing for you to do is to like come up with a list of interior designers that you like their style and you think you're compatible, and just say, hey, I'm coming into London this date. Can I come by and show you my portfolio, or we can talk through concepts or what have you? Like, pick a day in which you're going to go and speak to these folks.
yeah, that sounds really
That's
good.
that's one thing. Or you send them DMs, or you built a little bit of a network. I mean, you have a big enough social following that you're probably bigger than you have a probably bigger social following than most of these interior designers, that they will respond to your thing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So like
Yeah, that sounds
that
good.
that's honestly the messed up thing about social media is, you know, how much what your social following count is no indication of whether you are an expert or whatever. But
No,
at the same token, their social follower count is an indicator of social proof, right? Like, so much so that people are following you. So there's a little bit of that. So you need to lean into that more.
yeah,
Is that
yeah,
helpful?
yeah. I think I do need to make the most of that, because but I really need to prioritize some time, I think, to that as well, because that's like
Yeah,
a job
yeah,
in
yeah,
itself. I do
for
find, because
sure,
I do get caught up in the whole making thing and
for
designing.
sure. We totally get. I mean, look, there's so many more things I want to be doing,
I would love
but
to
I
know,
get
how
caught up.
did you find out about me? How did you come across my
literally a similar strategy, kind of like with that I just told you. Is I just I found you because I identified I wanted to interview furniture makers that had unique style and had a certain level of social following,
Yeah.
and told good stories like through their product.
I appreciate you
And
reaching out to me. I do.
yeah,
It's given me a real platform to be able to tell my story and
oh yeah, I
speak
even
out
love
there.
the fact that you tell stories about the pieces on your website. Like I tell people
Yeah.
to do that all the time. Like you
Uh,
have to.
I mean, yeah. How I work and my surroundings for me. That's my selling. That's my total inspiration where I live. Like it's so stunning that the hills. Where my workshop is situated. I have some windows that my bench looks out onto the Yorkshire Dales countryside, and
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
got like
yeah.
sheep grazing in front, and so it's just so inspiring for me being
It's
there,
so
and
cool.
so many of my pieces just get inspired from just being out in the Dales and in the countryside, and I feel like they sort of tell the story, of each sort of tell a story, and each are so unique, each every piece, yeah. Um,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, Tom, thank you so much for your time.
Steve, yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
pleasure.
and I look forward to getting your story out to the Woodpreneur community.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks so much.
All right, take care. Bye.
Cheers.